What are the best group games? I spend all of my time thinking about how to make learning and engagement and connection more experiential. And so I've got in the back of my brain a library of really excellent exercises that are perfect for groups. And this is one of the best. Works perfect whether you are in person, remote, or hybrid, and I'll share variations for each in this video. But this is one you definitely want to have in your back pocket. I learned it as jump in, jump out. And one of the ways that you can know that it's valuable is there's another video from a good friend, Mark Collard, who is the founder of Playmio, which is the world's largest database of online exercises. If you know this activity and all the variations I'm gonna share, you will be a better group leader, educator, etc. Let's get into it. For me, the best group games accomplish both the objective of having fun and having some component of learning to them. While there is this acronym, FUNN, Functional Understanding Not Necessary, I love when we can blend fun with meaning as well. And so this exercise, jump in, jump out, and the remote variation that I'm gonna share, lean in, lean out, can accomplish both of those really easily in a pretty quick amount of time. Admittedly, I don't do this exercise in stuffy corporate settings very much. Not that I love to work in stuffy corporate settings anyway. I usually work with some pretty cool leaders and educators who would be potentially game for something like this. If your culture is maybe not ready for something that's a little bit more outside the box or fun, I would check out this video where I unpack 3 Energizers and Icebreakers that are really, really flexible and great for any group. And you may just want to open that in a new tab or a new video or add to your watch list for later, because that is one of my favorite videos on the channel, I think. So the directions are really simple. They're actually kind of in the title, but there's 3 rounds here. So round 1, simply, you're going to invite the group to do what you say and say what you say. This is gonna be most interesting if you're in person, standing all in a circle with a little bit of space in between each other, maybe even social distanced. It actually is a great social distance exercise as well. Standing in a circle, all you're gonna do is do what I say and say what I say. Ready? Jump out, jump in, jump left, jump right. So you can imagine 35 people in a group doing this. Pretty dynamic, pretty fun. You can jump over to Mark Collard's video and actually see a group doing this. So for round 2, I'm gonna introduce my friends, Heart and Potato. So these are gonna be people on the side. And for round 2, really simply, because that, do what I say and say what I say, that's like kindergarten version. You could do that with kindergartners and they could kind of follow along. Pretty simple directions. I'm never working with kindergartners, and so we're gonna ramp it up a little bit and see if we can trick our brains. This time, I'm gonna invite you to just do what I say, but say the opposite of what I say. Do what I say, but say the opposite of what I say. So jump in, jump out, jump left, jump right. And so you can imagine my friends Heart and Potato, people who aren't maybe quite getting it, if I jump left and they jump right, there's gonna be this collision. In Zoom, right, jump in, jump out could work depending on the context, but I might edit it to lean in, lean out, and frame it as an Energizer or a group game just to kind of warm people's spine up a little bit. Third round, really messing with our brains here. This time you're gonna do the opposite of what I say and say the opposite of what I say. Jump in. See, I can't even do this one all by myself, right? So what it creates, and you can imagine this with a group, it creates an immense amount of laughter and joy because 100% of people, or at least I haven't met anybody yet, who hasn't failed or jumped the wrong way at some point in time, which is part of where fun can become learning. It's a really great way to actually increase psychological safety in the beginning of a group, because you can ask people, how many of you probably just screwed up a little bit or made some mistake or did something a little bit goofy or like went to jump this way and then corrected? Everybody's hand goes up and you can kind of point out as a facilitator in that moment, like, and how many of you are still alive and just fine, right? So throughout our time today, Feel free to make mistakes. Don't worry about being perfect. Feel free to popcorn out, share your ideas, be a part of the conversation without worry about getting it all right? So it can be a really powerful illustration in addition to sparking an immense amount of joy and setting a tone for energy for the day. Jump in, jump out, or lean in, lean out can also be a really great way to elevate people's energy or get some blood flowing in the middle of a session or in the middle of a meeting. And so if you've got a team that knows each other really well. So before you click off, the magic of this exercise comes in the nuance and the variations, right? I just gave you the base framing, round 1, 2, 3, like fine. I would suggest editing and creating some really clever adaptations and variations to this to really fit your context. And you're gonna be the best person to ruthlessly reinterpret what I say and apply it to your own context, because I don't know exactly where you are or what you're doing watching this video. So I'm gonna give 3+ variations to get your brains turning on how you might adapt this exercise. So specifically, I did this with a group of college students at Cal State just last night. So we're on Zoom and wanted to add a little bit more depth and reflection. We were actually meeting to reflect on some training that I had given them a couple weeks prior. And so with lean in, lean out, what I had them do is draw an X on a piece of paper. So big X. And in the top of the X right here, I had them write lean in. And in the bottom of the X, I had them write lean out. And I had them write down, what is something over the next month that you want to lean into, that you want to be more deliberate with? So maybe you want to practice asking more questions, or you want to speak with conviction, or you want to stop saying or whatever else it is. What do you want to lean into? And then in the bottom, what is something you want to lean out from? That might be the better place for if you want to stop saying or you need to start saying no a little bit more because you're too busy, etc. I'm going to lead the exercise the same way, except this time, each time you lean in and lean out, I want you to just think about what it is that you're leaning into. A little bit silly or playful, but it has a way of taking that content and making it a part of somebody's brain. It like sinks it into their brain a little bit more and makes it more likely that they'll actually lean into it, not metaphorically, that they'll actually go and do that thing or stop doing that thing just because you did that exercise. The second one is, my mom always said, end the party while it's still fun. And so one of the ways that I noticed to ramp energy back up rather than going rounds and rounds and rounds is I'll replace round 3 and notice that people are like, starting to jump and they're like, yeah, I don't know, like, okay, this was fun for 5 minutes, but like I'm about done. Before it ever gets to that point, I might stop and edit round 3 to be the speed and conviction round. And this has been a blast, especially remotely. So this time, everybody go on mute, which, by the way, if I'm on Zoom, I'll actually have everybody go off mute so they can say what I say as well. Zoom's audio suppression has gotten way, way better in the last year, and you can do that without too much chaos, even if there's some dogs barking in the background. So the speed and conviction round, though, I want everybody to go on mute, and I don't want people to say what I say. And so this time, I'm just gonna invite people to do what I say or do the opposite of what I say with speed and conviction. Ready? Jump in, jump out, jump left, jump right. You speed it up a whole bunch, and especially remotely, it's a little bit easier to lean faster. It actually does elevate the group's blood flow a little bit and gets people moving. And 100% of the times that I've done this little speed and conviction round, it's sparked a whole sea of smiles and joy that you don't typically see in gallery view on Zoom. Variation number 2 related to the speed and conviction is you can combine the exercise in the manner of the adverb, which is simply do any action in the manner of the adverb that you choose. So you choose an adverb like sleepily. So you can say jump in, jump out, but just invite the group to lean or jump in the manner of that adverb. So jump sleepily, or lean intensely, or whatever else it is that whatever adverb you want to attach. And you can source those adverbs from the group, or you could choose one of your cultural values or something that you care about. So if integrity is one, what would it look like to jump with integrity? What would it look like to lean with integrity? And that's where the fun element can also spark into conversation and learning about, like, okay, when you had to think about jumping with integrity or leaning with integrity, like, what did you think about? Did you think about jumping really cleanly, really straight? Did you think about checking in with the person next to you before you jumped, right? What did that actually look like? Now, that would not work for all cultural values. You've got to be the master of your own context and ruthlessly reinterpret this and apply it, but consider in the manner of the adverb and attaching and weaving in some of your values. Best variation to end this activity with some guaranteed laughter or smiles or joy is to pick one direction, probably lean in or lean out, and continue repeating that several times. Lean in is usually, if the group's comfortable enough, lean in or jump in. And you say jump in, jump in, jump in, jump in. You can imagine all of a sudden potatoes and hearts are gonna start colliding a little bit. And you stop it when it gets, don't go too far with it. But that can spark a lot of joy because it's unexpected, right? I should have said this at the beginning, but this entire activity never lasts more than 3 to 7 minutes for me. And I often use it as either a re-energizer or a tone setter to say, it's okay to fail and experiment in this space, right? That culture setting is really useful to start off a session with. This, my friends, was one out of 100+ activities that I've packed into this box, this connection toolkit. There's a free digital version in the link below, as well as the not free physical version available in the links below as well on Amazon or store. I'm Chad Littlefield. Have an awesome day.